Hello, everyone. Welcome to Off the Charts, episode 343. And I have someone here who's come to visit, who hasn't visited for a little while here. How's it going, Steve?
Hey Dan, how you going? Yeah, thanks for the invite. Yeah, it's been too long. But yeah, nice to be back on your channel.
As a solo guest. He's been on with the Kansas Connection there,
Oh yeah,
but
true,
as a
true.
solo guest, I'm like, oh my God, I haven't done something with Steve in a while, so let's do that. So, how are you today?
Very good, thank you. Very good. We're just talking about temperature, how it's getting a bit warmer where you are.
Mhm.
Well, of course, then it's obviously getting a bit colder where I am. I've got my jacket on. I haven't worn this for about 6 months. Getting just a bit chilly in here. Might have to turn the heater on. But yeah, it's raining. That's what the way it goes.
It's raining here also,
Oh, okay.
but it's
Yeah,
15 degrees outside.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Nice.
um, well, I thought of, inviting Steve for this special episode here. And I know you've done a few of these yourself on your channel, which is Rock and Metal Invasion, but a specific album, right?
Yes, I did too. I did a couple of albums, just yeah, and talked about those. Yeah,
Which were
yeah.
zero. So what come down to is we both have this book here from Martin Popoff. And he's actually graded. So I was talking to Steve this past week, and I'm like, how about we do our top five 0 out of 10s given by Martin Popoff from his 1980s heavy metal collector's guide to heavy metal, but the 80s years. So
Mm.
I asked Steve, and he's like, are there that much? I'm like, to my knowledge, there should have been a lot more. But you're right. There's not that much.
Uh,
We just remember the big ones I find there. But yeah, we'll go through our top five and these are how much we love them. So from five to one here. Anything you want to add here?
no, I just add like I did actually say this too when I did a sort of similar show on my channel. Is that I have like massive respect for Martin Popoff and his books and his reviews are fantastic. But music is very subjective, and yeah, so yeah, there are times where I totally agree, and there's obviously going to be times when for me, I do like an album a lot more than he does, or sometimes it's the opposite. I don't like it as much as he does. It's all subjective. You and me disagree all the time, don't we, Dan?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Not all the time.
The
Sometimes.
burning
Yeah.
like a flame argument.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we're not here to point fingers. This is a
No,
great. I
yeah,
love
it's great.
books, not just for the reviews itself, but before the internet. This is what you
Mm,
had to go by with knowing what albums existed, right? So
yeah.
I love that, and it gives you a good idea of what to get. So,
Mm,
without much further ado, how about we get
mm.
started? Since you're our guest here on Off the Charts, why don't you tell us your fifth choice, which was graded 0 out of 10 by Martin Popoff in his 80s book.
Yep. Okay. So my coming in at number five is actually one I did talk about on my channel, and there's two albums by this band that he has given 0 out of 10, but the one I'm going to talk about is The Sport of Kings. So this one's going to be my fifth selection. I think it's a really good album. I think songs like now it always catches me out a little bit here because when I'm looking at songs, I kind of like to look at the back and then look at the order that they come in. But this is not sequenced correctly, so you've
Mm-hmm.
actually got to look at the label of the record. But yeah, the opening track, "Tears in the Rain," I think that's an awesome song. Really love that one. Now, Somebody's Out There was also that was actually I think one of their biggest hits, right?
Yeah, it
I
was
don't.
huge here.
Yeah, I don't really like that song that much. I don't dislike it, but it's like, okay. But then the next song, What Rules My Heart. Wow, great song. Really love that one. If Only, which is more of a sort of a ballad type song or mid tempo, but really good. So three of those five songs on that first side are really good. And then, the rest of the songs on the album are solid. Good hard rock. Yeah, it's kind of commercial. There's some keyboards in there, and it's I guess it's maybe not. There's not so much prog sort of stuff, progressive kind of
Yeah.
stuff. It's a lot more mainstream. They're definitely going, I guess, for more commercial sound. But I think there was some tension in the band too at this point. Rik Emmett's the second to last album he does with the band, and I know that they were on MCA Records. I know that he was pretty keen on splitting with the label, and the next album, Surveillance, that's the other one that also gets 0 out of 10.
Mhm.
I think that's also quite a good album. I think I probably prefer this one, but they're both very good, very good albums for me. But I wasn't into Triumph at the time. The Triumph is a band I've kind of gone back to later on, so and really been enjoying it. But
Yeah.
early Triumph, I'm not. I've heard them, but I'm still really getting to listen to them a little bit. I need to really listen to them a bit more. But the mid '80s Triumph, and even actually, to be honest with you, the album that they put out with who did they have on vocals? They brought in someone different, didn't they?
It was Phil X on guitars.
That's right. They brought Phil X in, just for the guitar parts. Yeah, that's right.
When he
Yeah, yeah,
wasn't singing, yeah.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. I don't actually. There's some good songs on that one as well. So, but yeah. So anyway, that's going to be my number 5.
All right. Well, how about we go?
Is that right? We got a match.
I do prefer. Oh, okay. By the way, okay. Well, you know what? We'll save it after I finish talking here,
Mhm.
so I won't add too much to it. There, I think it's one of the classiest album covers they have. Tears in the Rain, like you said, is great. What Rules My Heart is great too.
Mm,
Hooked on You is is okay.
mm.
Just One Night, I don't like that one at all. But Somebody's Out There, man, I love that song a lot. That was pretty big here in Canada, and that was basically the first Triumph. So, like, I was able to put a face to the name of the band because I remember people walking around with, Thunder Seven and whatnot in
Yeah, yeah.
high school, in intermediate school. But I prefer this one than Surveillance. Also, Take a Stand. I love that song. It's an easy song when you think of Triumph there. Keyboards. There was keyboards before, and it
Oh
just
yeah.
wasn't as pronounced on this one and the next one there. But yeah, like I said, to me, this is not a 0 out of 10. And that's what I want to try to get at. Forgot to tell you right before. Would you put this closer to a 0 or closer to a 10? Like,
Oh, it's easily closer to a 10. I haven't gone through and given it a score out of
well, neither
10,
have I.
but it would be more than 5 because probably more than half the songs on the album I like. So yeah, no, definitely it's and all these albums. So obviously that's number 5. So all of them are going to be
Yeah.
more than 5 out of 10 as a score.
I would put this one as a 5, 6-ish
Mm.
to be. It's good, but it's not the one I go to. I find there's a lot of fluff in between. Like there's some really good songs, but there's some
Yeah.
like I'm like, oh,
Yeah, that's that's it. That's the thing. It's not. It doesn't have that consistency.
not
Like you talk about that.
consistent. Yeah, that's a great way to
Yeah,
say it. Yeah.
yeah. Like you talk about that song, "Just One Night." That's actually an Eric Martin song. So that was on Eric, from Mr. Big. It was on one of his albums, solo albums. So it's not even a Triumph song.
Well,
But
I did not know that.
yeah, but it's a very commercial ballady type. Have a hit.
Mm.
Actually, Neil Schon is the co-writer on it as well. But yeah, but it's and it's it is what it is. It's like it's not unpleasant. That's the thing. Like, and I always found this with Triumph. You put their album on. There's nothing like it's not like oh how there's some bands, and I'm sure you do, like Nitro. No, no. But where it's just like, oh my god, I can't listen to this. I've got to skip it. You know what I mean? There's nothing like
Yeah.
that on it.
Yes. All right. So, well, we're pretty much on the same page for this one here. So why don't we try for number 4 now? What do you got for that?
Okay, yep. Yeah, number four. So, and I will say, I think you kind of get a bit of an idea when you look at least my top five, the ones that Martin's given zero out of 10 for, that there's perhaps a certain style of hard rock. Well, none of these are really heavy metal, but there's a certain style of rock or metal that he doesn't necessarily, it's not really his cup of tea.
Oh yeah.
And so this band also a little bit like Triumph, the same sort of genre, it's that sort of AOR, melodic rock, hard rock kind of sound. And yeah, so Giant, Last of the Runaways. So I must admit, though, I was still very surprised that he gave this a 0 out of 10. And he gives the follow up Time to Burn a 0 out of 10 as well, but that's in his 90s book. But I was a bit surprised because this was actually relatively successful. I'll See You in My Dreams was a bit of a hit for them. And the guitar player and he's also the lead vocalist, Dan Huff. He's quite recognized as a really really great guitar player, and he's been a producer as well. He even produced a Megadeth album. And I'm a Believer, the opening song, great guitar playing at this, just to kick it off. It's like he just goes off on guitar, and then really good melodic hard rock song. Innocent Days, I think that could have been a hit. I think I Can't Get Close Enough, really good melodic hard rock. And yeah, even the hit song I'll See You in My Dreams, it's just a ballad, power ballad, but I actually like that. So yeah, side two I don't think is quite as strong, but still some good songs on there. And yeah, produced by Terry Thomas. He worked a lot with Tesla. Yeah, I just think it's a really good album, and the next one's just as good. Just as good. If you like this album, you like the next one. So this is one definitely would be, I'd probably say 7 out of 10. So these last four are like almost really, yeah, B
Okay.
plus A type albums for me. They're really good. So yeah, that's my number four.
I remember hearing the song. What was a hit? Something in My Dreams there.
Yeah, I'll See You in My Dreams.
I remember hearing it, but did not knowing who it was. That's the group that John Roth is currently touring with, uh, also with Winger, right?
I don't think John Roth plays with them. Maybe he
Right
does.
now, though, right now.
It could be. It could be. I don't know. I know that they're about to drop a new album like in the next few weeks. It could be.
I'll check afterwards, but I
Yeah.
believe that sometimes you don't see John Roth on a Winger show, and there's another guy you see that on YouTube, and I believe
Ah.
he's with Giant. He does touring with Giant.
It's quite likely because he's
Don't
that's
quote me yet.
Frontiers. You're
Well,
on Frontiers. Yeah.
all right. Well, we don't have a match for this one for our
Okay.
number 4. Now, this is probably the most talked about 0 out of 10 that Martin has given any. I don't agree with the 0, but I understand why it's a 0. Okay, so I'll give Def Leppard Hysteria. I get it why he put it to 0. I totally get it, especially when you compare it to their previous 3 albums. But I remember, like, back, and I'm using this as an excuse there, back when I was in grade 9, I think, when this came out. This is 87. Yeah, 9, 10-ish, okay? And I remember friggin' loving, well, I remember loving Women, Armageddon
Mm.
It, Animal, Pour Some Sugar on Me. Did not like Love Bites, nor did I not like Hysteria. Was that all the singles? Uh,
Oh, they've got lots of singles.
Rocket, I hate. And Rocket, I believe, is what causes this album to go to 0. Like, it's just processed, computerized stuff. And I don't want to sound like a jerk saying this. I mean, hats off to Rick Allen for drumming with one arm, okay? but he's also holding the band back. Like, whether you like it or not, drummers can only be as good as they can with one arm. But I mean, hats off. Like, but it's just like ever since this album came out, it's been like mid-pace. There's no faster songs I find with Def Leppard. But I'm like I said, I'm gonna put this one here. I've heard this one to death. Like side one, don't ask me to put that on. I'll put side two. I'm so tired of hearing this album here. So like I said,
well, it gets played on the radio so much, doesn't it, too, if you've heard it on the radio or you're just out and about, they put the songs on, yeah.
You heard this album like all over at the time.
Yeah.
I don't mind Pour Some Sugar on Me. I'm not really tired of hearing it. But like I said, I understand why it's a 0, and I'll actually add on when I saw Diamond Halos, I think was their last album, and I saw Tesla open for them with the Shock tour, and Def Leppard were just too perfect sounding, you know? And I was like, I bet you there's not as many real instruments being played live as we think. Like it was just too, and it sounded exactly like this album. So like I said, I like it. I have good memories attached to it. Is it a 0 out of 10? I would probably put this, I mean, this is a good 7 or 8 out of 10 album right there. I'm just sick and tired of hearing that. I'm putting it here just for the memories. I bought this off a guy. I probably played it once just to make sure it works. I don't need to hear this album ever again. But it was good. Yeah. But it was good. I gotta give. It was great. I do get it why though it's a 0 out of 10 because there's hardly anything real sounding almost in that album. I find so that's my number 4.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard with those massive albums like Appetite for Destruction or Slippery When Wet or because it's like, well, I'm trying to judge it when it's like it's just been bombarded. I've been bombarded with that music, and you haven't had a chance to just listen to it yourself and just enjoy it when you wanted to enjoy it. And it's that sort of fatigue that's not really the music's fault, right? You've kind of got fatigue from hearing it so much. But that doesn't mean it's bad. Do you know what I mean? And
well, I mean, I put Rocket in the bad songs. I really don't like that. That to me, it's like overstayed welcome. 7 minutes worth.
I won't say too much because that could be coming up later.
Yeah. I think
one that I don't think we'll be talking about from your side is my number 3, and it's Fastway and On Target.
I thought of you. I should have brought my copy because I got a different
there's a different cover, cover. Well, just talking about the cover, this was a bit of a thing. If you've got a bit of a hair metal collection of records, there's a few bands that do this stripping or just slicing the band members and putting them like this. But
ripping from paper.
Brittany Fox and I think Rat come to mind. But anyway, so this is the first album they did with Leah Hart, and I think Martin Popoff, from memory, if you look at his reviews, he actually really likes Fastway, but he only likes Dave King Fastway. He doesn't
first album though. He only gave
that's true.
The first one,
right? Well, the first album I think for most people is their go-to Fastway, but I think it's good, but Leah Hart, for whatever reason, I think his songwriting, his vocals, I just really like it. And it is definitely this is Fastway doing Bon Jovi basically, and early Bon Jovi I enjoy. So there's songs on here that I think are just brilliant, and I still enjoy playing them. And I was kind of surprised when I heard this because I think I'd heard the albums previously with Dave King, so I wasn't necessarily expecting this kind of a sound. And I can imagine if you enjoyed the debut album especially and then you heard this, you'd go, oh, it's just glam metal, it's not not the kind of sort of hard rock that they used to play. And of course you've got Eddie Clark as well, who's formerly from Motorhead, and Motorhead fans are going to be like, what's this kind of stuff, so But for me, Dead or Alive, Change Your Heart, Let Him Rock. She is Danger. Really good hard rock songs. Really, I really enjoy those. Even A Fine Line, which is like a mid-tempo ballad type song, it's really good. Um, some of these songs actually appear on a album by, well, two or three, I think, maybe. But anyway, had been done before by an artist called Stephanie. She's a Japanese female vocalist from Japan. So Leah Hart had worked with her
Okay.
and written some songs. So no one would have known about it because it was Japanese only kind of thing. But then he brought those songs here. Although interestingly enough, the songwriting credits, Eddie Fast Eddie Clark, he still puts his name in the songwriting credits for some of them. So maybe he had a part to play, maybe changing the songs a little bit. I know that initially when Stephanie did the song, what's it called? Uh, or maybe it's She Won't Rock or He Won't Rock or something like that. Maybe that's on the next album actually, but it's changed from she to he.
Okay.
But yeah, but because there's songs on the next album as well that are old songs that he brings in. So I think the album after this, it's got the
Bad, bad,
Bad Girl,
bad, bad
Bad Girl.
girls.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That, again, they reused some old songs for that one as well, and it sounds very similar to On Target. Very similar. I wouldn't be surprised if Martin gave that one a 0 as well. I don't know, but it's probably in the '90s book.
See, I don't know. Like,
But
what
yeah, I
what year did the other one, Bad Bad Girls, come out? Was it 90s?
yeah, I would be must be 90 or 91. Mm,
Because I was
yeah.
like wondering, because I like Bad Bad Girls. I don't
Oh,
like.
do you?
Yeah, oh yeah, there's some great songs on Bad Bad Girls. I got it here on my fast way. I thought it was. See, I
Okay.
don't know where it is. If it's before or after that one, but I do enjoy. Okay,
I've got my
Bad Bad
'90s book
Girls
here.
is 1990. Okay, yeah, on the dot. So it's probably in the 90s book.
Yeah,
But
19. Oh, he gives it 3 out of 10.
okay, see, I do like it better.
He likes it a bit more as well.
But it's two forgotten albums by that band big time there. It's nothing against Leah Hart. It's just because I do enjoy the one after. I just find this one was like way too much of a change from. I don't even know which one's the first one. Is it Waiting for the War or the Trick or Treat one came just before that one? I forget.
I think it was Waiting for the Raw and then Trick or Treat. I
And
think maybe Trick or
that's what
Treat
I
was the
think
last
also.
one. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. And then there was the second one. What was it called? Had the had the like racing
Oh,
car on
all
the
fired up. Yeah,
yeah, all
Fast
fired up.
Way, all fired up, Waiting
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the War,
yeah,
Trick or Treat,
yeah,
the two Leah Hart, and then Eat Dog,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it.
which
Yeah,
is actually quite good, actually.
yeah. Yeah, and I'll just say Leah Hart, he did a really good solo album in the '90s as well. So yeah, which I like. And he was in a band called, I think they're called the Ya-Ya's. Ya-Ya, I think they were just called.
Okay.
But it's not that great. But yeah. Anyway, that's my number three.
Closer to 0 or 10 for this one?
Oh, they're all like now, like I said, from Giant, it's 7 plus.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
I'd give this one an easy 8.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Not in this house.
Yeah.
All right, this next one, so I'm at number 3 here. I'm thinking you're gonna have this one here. So I'm gonna put Y&T Contagious. Why this is marked as 0, I have no idea. I freaking love this album here. Contagious is great. LA Rocks, which is what the hell was Boys Night Out? Is that
Yeah.
big? But
There's some copies of that album, and it's actually called Boys Night Out, but
more
Sammy
on
Hagar got
that
it.
later, actually, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah, yeah.
Rhythm or Not is probably one of my favorite Y&T
Mm.
songs. I friggin' love that song. This is great. It's Y&T verging into commercial hair metal, but I'm using
Yeah,
verging.
good.
Pardon?
It's good. That's what I want them to do. Yeah,
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 it's verging, but yeah, a lot of people are like,
yeah.
I think I would easily listen to this one before the first three, Down for the Count. So yeah, this at least just thinking out loud there. Love this album here. So Y&T Contagious is, I just find it sounds like Y&T but more polished. If
Mm,
and
mm.
the keyboards are, whatever keyboards in here is not like over, it's not like friggin' Fastway or I'm trying to think of what else, or even Triumph. Like the keyboards are very
Yeah, yeah, no.
used, very minimal, like just to
Yeah.
mood. So yeah, I'm gonna put Contagious, and I'm gonna put this like closer to 10 also for this than 0. This one just baffles me as to why it's so low. Like 0 to me is a little harsh.
Mm,
Sure,
mm,
put it a 3, or like if you're gonna put
mm.
Bad Girls a 3 and this is 0, I'm like, come on. So Y&T Contagious, yeah, closer to 8, 7 or 8 for me for this. So there you go.
Yeah, yeah. Especially too. I know that. Oh, I mean, if you look at the book, um, you know, Y&T, the early Y&T is scored quite highly. I mean,
Yeah.
he scored, you know, Black Tigers 8, Mean Streaks 9, and Rock We Trust 8. It's quite a massive drop.
Yeah.
But to be fair, my number two, a similar thing happened. So my number two is Def Leppard and Hysteria. Now, Pyromania, Martin Popoff gave quite a good rating, and the album before that, he loves it. You know, that's like almost a 10, I think he gives it. But yeah, obviously it's the production. It's got too slick and processed, and you know, I mean, Mutt Lang had come in for Pyromania, but then he's really sort of taking over the sound a lot more on this one. And you know, I I really liked the album when it first came out. Yes, I'm a bit over it now. It's
Same
not
here.
an album. Yeah, it's not an album I reach for very much at all. But I do have to say I actually think Rocket's a great song, and the thing is I'm not over it because it hasn't been played to death. So
Oh my
uh,
God, there's a video for that. It was played all over
I
here.
know, I know there's a video, but I didn't really get a lot of play here. But and Woman as well. I think there's a video for that, but again, it hasn't been overplayed. So Woman and Rocket, the two opening tracks, I think are great. I think so Animal. I don't think it was the first single everywhere, but in New Zealand, Animal was the first single.
I know Women was the first video. I know that.
Oh yeah, right, yeah,
It
yeah. I
flopped.
know, and but I think well that's the thing, right? I don't think we ever saw the woman video. The first video we saw over here was Animal, and you can see even here on their hype stick it includes the single
Okay,
Animal.
okay.
They haven't talked about any other singles or you know just Animal. And it didn't light up the charts in a big way. You know, it was like I got a bit of play, but you know, it really wasn't until, and I think people have acknowledged this that because they spent a lot of money on this album, and at first I think people were a bit nervous, like, oh, it's not really, you
Mhm.
know, doing the business. It wasn't until Pour Some Sugar on Me came out and was massive that then the sales. I mean, this is like Diamond now. This is massive
Yeah.
now, um, but you know, but I will say that you know, I when I heard Pour Some Sugar on Me before it was even released as a single, because I got this, you know, not the day of release, but pretty much, you know, very early on. And I had Pour Some Sugar on Me. I remember thinking, wow, that's a great song. I was just played it and played it. Of course, I can't be bothered playing it now. But you know, Armageddon, I think there's a video for that, just a
Yeah.
live concert. Yeah. But
Armageddon
that's a
is.
yeah, yeah. That's a great song. That reminds me a little bit more of their Pyromania sound, I think. And then you know, side two is kind of fun to play because you haven't heard those songs quite so much, and there's still some good rockers on there. Don't Shoot Shotgun, I think, is great. Run Riot's a fun one. Excitable, good rockers. I'm not fussed about Love and Affection. Gods of War is quite a long song, I think, from memory, but and doesn't move along as with as much pace as some of the other songs. But yeah, and I know it's overproduced and everything like that, but it's got a great. I still think the sound of it is great, and they've still got great songwriting abilities on this album, just like they did for Pyromania and their albums prior to that. So I mean, it all kind of goes downhill. I got to be honest with you after this. Like Adrenalize, I can't be bothered with at all. And
A few songs.
I did a show. I did a show recently where I managed to find maybe I think it was 10 songs from Def Leppard's albums since this album. That's about all I could find that are
Mhm.
good. And so you've really got to kind of there's a few gems in there, but it's when you think about all the music they put out since no, not heaps because they're pretty slow at putting out albums, but there's probably been 6 or 7 albums
Yeah.
since this one. There's not that many what I would consider good songs. But anyway, it's my number two.
See, me, it's the for the rocket. It's that part in the middle, where it's like
Yeah. No, I like that.
it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so fake sounding. It's like I,
Yeah. It's pop music, eh? It's pop music, really. Yeah.
it's like, but that's the part I really don't like. All right, I'll accept your choice there. All
Oh, thank you,
right,
Dan.
my number. We're at two now. So I
Yeah.
talked about Y&T Contagious. Well, I can't not talk about. So this one either is called 19 or self-titled, or it was renamed after I Never Said Goodbye. So I'm just looking which version. So I got the self-titled. I don't see the word, and but anyway,
Mm,
yes, I find it to be a little generic or safe sounding. But man, these songs are great. I friggin' it's one of my favorite Sammy albums here. And I was talking about Y&T LA Rocks. Well, Boys Night Out was apparently the song that was had the same title as Y&T's Contagious. Was on the same record label, was it? And the same years,
yeah.
like same everything.
Yeah.
The rumor has it that Y&T was told to either change it, and then Sammy was told to keep it. I don't know how true that is, but When the
Mm,
Hammer Falls, I friggin' love that song. That's a great opening track. Again, is this original? No. This was basically just to get out of a record contract, like, because he was like, he still owed, I guess,
mm.
Geffen some albums. Um, Hands and Knees, there was a video for that. Is that the one with the. Yeah, there's a video for that with members of Van Halen also. A little crit.
Yeah. It's a great song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that song.
Mm,
Give to Live,
mm.
and I'm gonna go straight. Eagles Fly, probably one of the better ballads Sammy's ever written. So good that they were actually playing it live with Van Halen. Returning Home, probably not on paper, not my style of music, but I love that song. Privacy is good. Standing at the Same Old Crossroads, good. Back into You, good. Um, the rest of the Eddie Van Halen plays bass on this album.
Yeah.
Not many people know that now. Drums David Lauser, bass Edward Van Halen, keyboards Jesse Harms, Sammy on guitars and vocals, and a bunch of background vocals. Everyone. Anyway, I I know it does sound a little safe, but the songs to me are there, so I do enjoy this one. To me, this is not even close to being a zero. Again, this one baffles me as to why it's sure. I mean, put it as a one or a two maybe, but a zero, I was like, it's a little harsh. But yeah, do love this album. Um, I probably would say after Standing Hampton that this would be my second favorite of his. So there you go. Sammy
Mm.
Hagar, either self-titled or I Never Said Goodbye. I just forget which one, which came when there, but I never saw I never said goodbye written anywhere on a cassette or a CD. So
I think the idea was that there was an MTV competition where you could the winner got to name the
oh,
album,
okay.
and maybe that, and so that's what won. I think I never said goodbye, but then how many copies actually then got changed because they'd already released the album when the
Yeah.
competition kind of got promoted. So I think that was how that worked. Yeah, that's not on my top five, but that'd be an honorable mention for me. It is definitely a good album. I
I
enjoy
like
it.
it a lot actually. There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong with it.
yeah. Some really good songs like the yeah. I think some of those
Eagles
songs.
Fly is to me is probably one of the better ballads ever written. Like to me, it's
Yeah,
that good, and how he does it. I mean, I prefer the original, the version on the album than just the acoustic one that he does live there. But it's a great, powerful, emotional song. So, anyway.
yeah. All right. Well, my number one is one we've already talked about, but
Mhm.
yes, it is Y&T and Contagious. So yeah, I really enjoy Y&T, but this for me is my favorite Y&T album. It's just start to finish really good. LA Rocks or the Boys Night Out, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
um, is probably one of my least favorite songs on it. But
But it's
but
so
yeah.
hooky, that album. It's
It
so
is. Oh, it is. It is. Yeah, very catchy. Contagious, which there's a music video for. It's
Mhm.
very Bon Jovi. It's got the background vocals and the chants and all that kind.
Ooh.
Yeah. Very Bon Jovi. Yeah. And but this is their first album on Geffen, and they've got the fashion together a lot more than what they had. Because if you look at the previous album, that cover shot of them is like, what are you guys thinking? But look a lot better here. And they've got Jimmy DeGrasso comes in on drums, replacing Leonard Hayes. I don't know if that really makes too much difference, but um, yeah. So I think they've definitely got the image. They definitely got the sound for the time. And I guess for me, it's just good stuff. Like Temptation, that was actually initially written by Danger Danger. So Danger Danger, which is another honorable mention.
Another zero. Yeah.
Another zero. Their debut album there. That would be another honorable mention. But yeah, they demoed that song, and then Y&T used it for on this album. So, but you can find a Danger Danger version of the song Temptation on their Rare Cuts album. But yeah, Fight for Your Life. I think that's a really good song as well. And then just everything on side two. I mean, it's just like they're real good stuff. The last song, Eyes of a Stranger, that's a killer song. Kick ass. I'll Cry for You. I think that's just an instrumental, but yeah,
That's the
and
one
that's
yeah, I was wondering. That's the one with the instrumental at the end. Yeah.
yeah, and that finishes off the album. But um, uh, Bodily Harm, that's a good song as well. That could have been a single, but I think they only got the one music video, which I think is really bizarre because God, give them at least put one of the ballads out or
It's
the power ballads out or something. Give them a chance of having a hit because often bands their first songs they rock it. And yeah, I think Contagious was the right first single choice, but not necessarily one that's going to light up the charts. I think that
no
there was give them a chance
more
to
than
get a hit
one video for sure. Like
power ballad.
it's almost like they only have what they have 13, 14 albums. I think there's maybe
Yeah,
five videos max.
yeah,
It's
yeah. They
the
didn't have much luck with that, eh? Yeah.
yeah, they really dropped the ball. Geffen and the company, is it London, or that was the early?
A&M they were on
Oh
initially.
yeah, A&M, that's right. Or yeah, those one. A&M really dropped the ball on those guys.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and then I think Geffen they had their A&R guy was John Kolodner, who's like famous A&R guy for Whitesnake and Aerosmith, and so I think he was behind them. I think, yeah, but the idea was right. Like they changed labels, and Geffen were a label that were having heaps of hits, right? They had lots of big bands, but maybe they had too many and they just didn't have time to prioritize Y&T because the next album only got one music video as well. Granted, it's 1990, but
Yeah,
only got one music video, and then they broke up not long after that, or went on hiatus. Yeah,
yeah. I like that one. Good choice. Well,
Mm.
obviously I have it in mind, so.
Yeah.
All right. That one also closer to a 10, right? You're gonna
Yeah, I mean not a
nine.
10, but it's 8.5. Yeah, 8.5 to 9 even. Yeah.
All right. So my last one, my number one, is one that I get it why it's a 0 out of 10 because it's anyway. I'll show it to. So Alice
Yeah.
Cooper Data. Now I don't know how to explain this one here. The songs are there. It's a creepy album, but it's a fun album. It's a funny album. It's really all over the place. There's no drummer on this. This is all done by keyboards. There's no heaviness song. You're not going to find this on this here. Having said that, I've just done an Alice Cooper episode here, so I don't want to rehash everything. But long story short, trash. Get that. My first concert ever. I go backwards. So Alice Cooper's discography, I bought everything all at the same time mostly. So I didn't know what the difference was between, let's say, Billion Dollar Babies and this. And so to me, it was everything was either good or bad, like, but it was all the same thing. This is a mood album. It's not a 0 out of 10. There's some like this the first song, Data, creepy, very creepy song. Enough's Enough is cute. Um, I do No Man's Land. This is a song from my circle of friends that we laugh at. Um, I got a job in Atlanta in a mall playing Santa. Like it's dumb lyrics, but it's funny and we know them all by heart and we sang them all the time. Dyslexia is great. Scarlet and Sheba's annoyingly catchy. I love America. You gotta listen to the lyrics. This is where I find Alice Cooper shines on his lyrics. He said that him and Dick Wagner were laughing their asses off while writing that song. I'm like, didn't you tell us that you don't even remember making this album, but you remember Fresh Blood is a brilliant song. Probably would say Pass the Gun Around. The last one is good, but Fresh Blood kind of reminds me of the mood of Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer. Okay, that type of pop,
Okay.
keyboardy stuff. I would put this on any time of day. I actually put it on. This was actually what made me want to make this album. Sorry, this episode here. It's it's rare. It's not very well looked fondly upon. I don't know if you would like it. I'm not. Have you ever heard this?
No.
No. I'm not sure if you would like it, but it's just like if you're into Alice Cooper, like all of Alice Cooper, like this should be up there.
Mhm.
And actually, a lot of people have noticed with another Alice Cooper episode, this is actually fairly highly up there with other Alice Cooper fans. I understand, like the Def Leppard, I understand why it's a 0 out of 10.
Mm.
Do I agree with it? Not even close. This would be a. But see, the thing is, we discovered Alice Cooper all as a whole. So to me, I, again, like I said, I didn't know the difference between old stuff and new stuff. It was all
Mm.
new to me, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I'll defend that album till I die. Alice Cooper Data. It's different. It's artsy. It's not heavy. There's not even a real drummer, but there's also not a real drummer on Constrictor. I don't know if you guys knew that. So his choice was
Mm.
to like of all his four Blackout albums, to me his worst one is Special Forces. This one to me stands out as a great one there. So anyway, that's my number one, Alice Cooper Data.
Yeah, I was thinking that that was going to be your number one, and yeah, no, and look, it's just again, it's not. I guess I don't have a lot of inclination to sort of listen to it because it's sort of like I know it's not that heavy, or it's not, it's not the typical sort of mid '80s, late '80s Alice Cooper sound that I'm sort of more aware of. So I know it'd probably be. I like it. It's just I put in the time aside to listen to it. So yeah, I have to do that at some point.
All my immediate circle of friends love that album. Like I
Mm.
remember when we found it and we're like, well, back then it was difficult to find the Black Hat albums, especially they're on cassette, even CDs,
Yeah.
not easy to find. So when we found it, I was like, oh my God, my friend had this on vinyl, but he didn't have a turntable at the time. Um,
Right.
yeah, I
It's not an album you see around a lot. I'll say that, eh?
no.
And
You see the
is that
cover of the
because?
old man? Do you see the old man?
Yeah.
Because you could see
Uh,
Alice Cooper with the two eyes. Then you go out, you see an older man. It's like a Dali painting almost. You see the old, yeah, you do see the older man, right?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I
his,
think so.
that's his head. That would be his mouth, the two eyes, his nose.
It's kind of hard looking on a screen, but
Yeah,
yeah, I can. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
It
do find
takes
that
a while actually for it to kind of my eyes to kind of see it, but yeah. Yeah. I can see
it's
it now.
based
Yeah.
on Dali because he was big time
Yeah.
Dali.
Yeah. 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 Actually,
So
and then once you do see it, then you're like locked into it. Yeah.
yeah, I can't unsee it now.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. I think it's funny that it's not an album you see around a lot, and yet it's Alice Cooper. And I guess because it wasn't successful, right? So they didn't maybe press a lot of copies of it, or make
I don't
and
know.
it
I wish I knew
hasn't been
more.
reissued much, I guess.
I wish I knew more about that era.
Yeah. Mm,
Like it's he doesn't remember making it, so that doesn't really help when you're trying to make a
mm,
documentary out of something like that. It's always skipped. Like I wish I was there live learning about that. I didn't even know who this guy was at the time there.
yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, he was still on Warner Music at like that. See, this there's a they knew they were going to get kicked off Warner because there's a song called Formerly Warmer, but like, not the opposite of cold. It was supposed to be
Yeah.
Formerly Warner, as in Warner Brothers.
Uh,
But they
uh,
said, like they kind of knew, I guess, I don't know if they knew they were going to get dropped or whatnot there. But anyway, after that, he goes off for 3 years, gets rehab because he needed it a lot, and then came out 3 years later sober and did Constrictor. So anyway, putting that data as number one here.
okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So that's where I start with Alice Cooper Constrictor. I haven't.
Okay.
Well, I mean, obviously the '70s Alice Cooper I know a little bit as well, but I missed the early '80s stuff. Yeah, I'm not familiar with. Yeah.
Flush to Fashion is good. Really good.
Mm.
I love that one. It's a good one. Do
Mm.
you have any honorables there, my friend?
Well, I just talked briefly about Danger Danger and of course Sammy Hagar. There's a band called Strange Ways as well, their 1989 album that sounds a little bit like a number of the bands I've already talked about, like Giant or even
Okay.
Triumph. It's that sort of AOR melodic hard rock. I think it's pretty good. But yeah, he gave that one a zero. I mean, then there's ones like the David Lee Roth.
Mhm.
So just in case you thought he had it in for Sammy Hagar, no, Dave got a zero as well, but it's for the Crazy from the Heat EP, which
Yeah.
yeah, I would probably give that a zero as well, to be honest with you. But
I got that
so
for a
that's
dollar.
not annoying to mention.
I got it for a dollar, so I was actually pretty
Yeah, that's
a dollar
I've
off.
seen it for a dollar and been like, nah, too
There's
much.
the nitro again there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I have one, um, and this is not even really that heavy. It's very AOR, but I'm gonna Van Stephenson.
Yeah.
I've actually talked about this with our friend Tim Derling when we did the Y&T, and I didn't realize I had All American Boys. That's what kind of like, but this is actually not too. And Modern Day Delilah, but it's not Kiss's Modern Day Delilah.
Mm,
I didn't mind this album. I thought the cover is. I found this used but new. This is from '84, I think.
mm.
Anyway, when I bought it off of Discogs, it was still shrink wrapped with the hype sticker on it and all that. But it's got, your little cut right there. But yeah, I don't know if this was just a total flop, but I'm putting this as an honorable mention, as in it's not too bad. It's not a 0 out of 10 there. But I was pleasantly surprised when I heard it. Let me put it that way. So that's my honorable mention right there.
Yeah. I've heard people talk about Van Stevenson. He's got two albums, I think. Well, two albums from the '80s anyway that people
Yeah,
talk about.
I had never
Um,
heard of it. I just love that the album artwork, and I was like, oh, that's actually a pretty.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, okay, this is actually very surprising. And of course, I find out later on that I have an album with a song or that
Mm,
Y&T covered. So
mm.
that was
And I think initially it was a Stan Bush song, but
yes,
Stan,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
yes. That's what he was saying there. So well, there's our top 5 0 out of 10s, and where basically don't agree that these are zeros, right? That's pretty much what it comes down to.
Mm.
So, but from
It's all
the
subjective.
what's that?
It's all subjective, though.
Of
It's
course.
not doesn't mean we're right. Doesn't mean
Yeah,
Martin's wrong. Yeah,
yeah. Martin's written a book. I haven't. So,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
he's written more than
yeah,
one book there. But all right. Anyway,
yeah.
check
I
out.
was thinking,
Go ahead.
I was thinking, Dan, that we could do the opposite, but the thing is, there's a lot more tens. So Martin's got a lot of tens in there, but I was thinking we could do our top 5, 10 out of 10. But
I actually did think about that, but
mm,
that's going to be tougher. But at the end of each book, I believe he lists down his tens, so that actually
it's
might be
true. Yeah,
for research.
easier to find at least. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. Yeah, he does. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, maybe that's coming in the future. So,
Well, guys, stick around. If you do see us back together, that probably means I've convinced Steve to do another one. So,
nah.
all right. Well, I want to thank you
Okay.
for joining me for this here. Anything you want to plug? Anything that's coming your way on your channel here?
Oh no, just yeah, just the usual kind of stuff. But yeah, if you are interested in this type of content, obviously Rock and Metal Invasion is my channel, and if you haven't checked it out, yeah, make sure you do. And yeah, I've got nothing planned at all. I've been quite busy though over the last month. I've been putting out quite a bit
Yeah,
of
I
content,
know.
so
It shows.
uh,
It shows when you're on vacation.
yeah, I've been on vacation, so like, yeah, I got some time. But I'm back at work now, so
Yeah.
it could be back to once a week. But I always do usually something at least once a week. So yeah,
Plus, Steve will be back in the next week or two with the Kansas connection. We finally figured out a topic, so he'll be back soon for that. There, we'll need to iron out when we do this there, and then. But that's it. But anyway, I want to thank you, my friend Steve, for doing this today. Go check out his channel. I'm putting the link below. Very fun stuff on that channel here. And well, I guess that would be it. Go check out his channel. Go subscribe. Go like. Go do everything that you do here, but on his channel. All right. Thanks for joining me, my friend, and we shall see you guys next time. Take care. Bye bye.
yeah.